is Friday, and guess what? A new Spider-Man hits theaters. Director Shawn Hobbs got to see it and has the review in this edition of Director's Chair.
Hey, the big new movie this holiday weekend is Spider-Man Far From Home. Young Tom Holland's second standalone Spidey, though he has been a guest in several Avengers movies.
We could have used someone like you on my world.
Your world? Beck is from Earth, just not ours. The snap tore a hole in our dimension.
In fact, this one very tied into the events of Avengers Endgame, takes place right after. Peter Parker not only struggling with that movie's emotional events, but also with his superhero responsibilities and all those teen anxieties, when Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury crashes his class trip to Europe and recruits him for more hero stuff, involving a mysterious new hero, Mysterio, played by Jake Gyllenhaal. A lot of the cast from the previous Spidey movie returns: Zendaya, Jon Favreau, Marissa Tomei, same writers and directors too. And like Homecoming, it doubles as both a superhero movie and a coming-of-age teen comedy. So it's more lighthearted, lighter, and sillier coming right after all that heavy Endgame stuff. That means it also feels a little less substantial. But after an okay start, I think it just gets stronger and stronger and is big old fun. It's clever, it clings to its heart and its characters, continues to evolve them, and throws down some really impressive bang-zoom action with great comic booky visuals. I had fun. 3 stars.
It's like a crazy 9-day festival. It only happens every 90 years.
Welcome and happy midsummer.
Then also new as Midsummer, a broad daylight folk horror movie, art house horror movie from the writer-director of last year's Hereditary, which was very love it or hate it divisive for audiences. I'd expect the same reaction here. In it, a group of grad students attend a summer festival at a commune in remote Sweden where things get immediately weird, then pagan Wickerman culty, then straight up disturbing. The excellent Florence Pugh of Fighting With My Family leads that cast. Her character already steeped in emotional trauma before the weird stuff even starts, because like Hereditary, human emotions curdle into horror here. Like Hereditary, it's another very slow burn, only even longer. Also like Hereditary, more unsettling and freaky rather than scary, and a bleak, feel-bad, audience-unfriendly experience, but very strikingly made and undeniably riveting and hypnotic. A bit indulgent and predictable, boy is it not for everybody, but it makes a foul, nightmarish impression. 3 stars, but it's a movie I admire more than I like, so enter at your own risk. Okay, so for the holiday weekend, I think Toy Story 4 and Avengers Endgame still your absolute best bets out there. Let's say for families with kids, Toy Story 4 and Aladdin. For action, Avengers and Spider-Man, maybe John Wick 3. For something less noisy, the music movies, Rocket Man and Yesterday. Then some quick odds and ends.
I don't think that we're supposed to fraternize.
We'll be thinking about you, Lucy Morrow.
At home, on demand, comes My Days of Mercy, Ellen Page and Kate Mara falling in love from opposite sides of a protest line. Also Ophelia, with Daisy Ridley of Star Wars as Hamlet's doomed ladylove opposite Naomi Watts and Clive Owen. And of course, don't forget, Netflix yesterday just dropped that 3rd season of Stranger Things. What am I telling you that for? You've already binged it, right? That's the latest from the Director's Chair.